I'm currently in a very special location that links to my own history. So if that intrigues you, join me on the latest episode here in the Tour of Remembrance series. The town of Chorley in Lancashire is a typical small English town. It has a rich history associated with both World Wars, with 572 men making the ultimate sacrifice during the First World War and 165 during the Second World War. The town's first war memorial was Astley Hall and was gifted to the town in 1922 by the then owner Reginald Arthur Tatton. A few years later, in 1924, another war memorial was constructed, as well as a large stone arch, both commemorating the fallen from the First World War. In more modern times, a lot of work has been done to carry on the remembrance of the fallen from both world wars and modern conflicts, from the unveiling of a Pals Battalion memorial in 2010 to the countless information boards located in Astley Park. And here we are at the War Memorial here in Chorley, and this is a really nice one to come and visit. I've wanted to visit this one for quite a while because I have quite a lot of history with Chorley myself, but we'll get into that in a minute. So this original War Memorial, the stone bit that we see here in front of us with the wreaths surrounding the bottom, this was unveiled on the 31st of May 1924, and that was attended by Major General Sir Cecil Lothian Nicholson. And then, as you can see in the background, you can see these black plaques with the gold writing on it, and these were added after the original memorial was unveiled in the 1920s. And this was actually spurred on after the Chorley Pals Memorial was unveiled in February 2010. So yes, that Chorley Pals Battalion memorial going up kind of prompted people to want to expand this memorial here in Astley Park, which is currently where I'm at. And after extensive research by the Chorley branch of the Lancashire Family History Society, 738 names were found, which is amazing, incredible. You know, it just shows you what you can find when you dig into it and you put your mind to it and people come together. So these names were to be inscribed into 13 limestone, which you can see there's the odd one out there, just there, because these ones with the gold names on, it was further revamped for the 80th anniversary of VE Day. And this redeveloped part of the memorial that sits behind the original memorial was completed on the 9th of November 2012. So I've just come behind the war memorial now, up above it, and there's this really lovely little memorial here. This wasn't here in the past few years. I've since moved obviously away now. I live in North Wales now, but this is a nice little display. It's a combination of the Chorley Pals, the war in Chorley, and a bit of history about Astley Park, where I am currently, and it's really lovely to see. I really love the poppies intertwined with the steel of the rifles and the helmets. It's a really beautiful little memorial. So yes, as I said, the redeveloped memorial was unveiled on November the 9th, 2012, and I am 99% sure that I was actually at that ceremony. So for many years I was part of Chorley Silver Brass Band, and we would do loads of events in Chorley and the villages surrounding Chorley as well. So like I say, I'm 99% sure I was there in November 2012. I was still in high school, so it kind of tracks with what I can remember. Obviously it was quite a while ago and I'm getting old. But this is a really special one to me. I grew up not far from Chorley. My old high school was literally just back over there, and would come through Astley Park quite regularly. So it's been really special to come here and visit this one. So what I thought I'd do is a bit like when I went to visit the War Memorial in Adlington, the village where I grew up. I thought I'd highlight some names, just three random names that I picked out that I thought were interesting. So we've got William Abbott from the Lancashire Fusiliers, and he was in the 1st/8th Battalion and died 28th of April 1944. And as always, you know, this memorial it's quite big for a small town such as Chorley. A lot of the names of First World War, obviously with the Chorley Pals battalions that I kind of highlighted before and showed the memorial of. but there's still a lot of names from the Second World War as well, and this is where I got those names from. So the second name that I got was a Jack Arthur Balding, and he was a second lieutenant in the Durham Light Infantry 1st Battalion, and he died 15th of May 1941. And him being part of the Durham Light Infantry, obviously, Second World War, that was when you ended up just going wherever you were needed. You wouldn't necessarily stay with the Lancashire Fusiliers or, the Lancaster Regiment, I think it was called from what I can remember. You ended up going to other regiments that were from a different part of the country. And the last name that I got was Frederick Joseph Bell, and he was a sergeant in the RAF actually, in 101 Squadron, and he died the 4th of May 1944. So again, just 3 names that I picked out randomly. Again, a range of services, so 1 local, kind of 2 Lancashire, another 1 that served with a different regiment, and then 1 RAF, obviously a massive RAF nut, as everyone knows if you've watched this channel before. And another thing that I wanted to highlight, when I was researching this, a lot of the last names that I found, and there's kind of tracks, a lot of the last names that I found were from people that I went to school with, which was kind of nice but kind of sad at the same time. And it, like I said, it tracks, it makes sense. A lot of the people I went to school with, they were probably from, their parents were from here and their grandparents were from here as well, so that makes sense. And also, apologies for any noise that goes past. It is a park, it's half term now as well, so it's really busy. But still, I wanted to come out and I wanted to see this memorial because it being a park, I mean, how many people have walked past this today and they just don't pay any attention? They just, oh, okay, that's that. They might come to the service in November on Remembrance Day, but probably not. So another reason why I love doing this is just because I get to take a minute and just appreciate it, and like I always say, Remembrance should be all year round, not just for that one Sunday in November. So yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed another episode in the Tour of Remembrance series. If you did, like, share, subscribe, as I always say. And yeah, this has been really nice. So thank you again for joining me. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.